the stage. Big round of applause.
Who here would like to run their own business? Anyone? And who here, with the other hand, actually does run their own business? Perfect. So there's a few and
Do field businesses count?
of course. I'm a public speaking coach and I'm in the process of building my business. Now I want to talk about imposter syndrome because I feel like that this is a big part of growing a business. What is imposter syndrome? It's a psychological condition. It gives you this sense of being a fraud. Someone's going to know that you don't know what you're doing. Comes up in self-doubt and just this overall sense of not knowing what you're doing. You see, when you're an employee, you get told what to do, and of course there's a level of learning even within a job. But you go into business and you're like, what's happening? Now, many of us experience this imposter syndrome. The famous author Maya Angelou wrote 11 books. At the launch of every book, she suffered with imposter syndrome. She always said that she felt like a fraud, and somehow people were going to find that out. Albert Einstein, in his later years, admitted to a friend that he too suffered from imposter syndrome. What can we do about it? Because it can be debilitating. Well, we can reframe our mindset. Imposter syndrome thrives on negative self-talk. We need to be able to find a way to stop it. Those little chitter-chatters, I'm not good enough. People will know that you don't know what you're doing. We need to find ways to stop that. And the worst part is, when we do that, compare-itis. I actually Googled it, it is a word, compare-itis. When we compare ourselves to the people at the top of their game. I love to do this. I like to look at the people at the top of their game and go, wow. But of course the gap seems so big. And when the gap seems so big, sometimes that journey just feels really big as well. Now remember that those people at the top of their game, they probably suffered with imposter syndrome and may still suffer with it. Know that the journey is about learning, allowing yourself to be a student, learning the steps as you go, and inevitably making some mistakes as well. Another strategy to help with imposter syndrome is to have a success journal. Go buy yourself a notebook. It doesn't have to be fancy. And every little success you have, put the date. Today, I got a new client. Today, I had a successful social media post. Whatever they are. Today, I made X and X amount of pounds. Keep a journal of your successes. So when that imposter syndrome hits and it starts to feel like you're going nowhere, pull out your journal. Remind yourself that you have had successes along the way. Now, people seem to think that this entrepreneur journey is this nice, smooth motorway. It's straight. Let me tell you, it's got bumps. You're forced to turn right when you want to turn left. It's rough, and at times you have bits of smooth and it goes bumpy again. But if you know that it's bumpy, and if you know that there's going to be rough days, then when those days arrive, you allow them to move through you, pass through you, and not stay with you for too long. What else can we do? Well, we can seek help. We can discuss our issues, our problems with supportive friends and family. Now the key word there is supportive. I was having a rough day and I was chatting with a friend, having a moan. Do you know what she said to me? Why don't you just go get a job? I don't want a job. I was having a rough day, but to her perception, she wasn't going to be able to offer me any assistance in this. And this is the thing, everyone works from their level of perception. Hire a mentor. I have a business mentor. She is where I want to be. Again, this whole length thing. And sometimes I think, wow, I want to be where you are. And she reminds me that she's 15 years in the business. To be patient. Because where she got, she had to deal with imposter syndrome as well. And she had to face all those challenges that I've already mentioned. Invest in yourself, invest in personal, business courses, workshops, whatever it is that helps you keep in the right mind frame. Worth the money indeed. In conclusion, imposter syndrome is common. No one wants to talk about it. Everyone just wants to say that it's all beautiful and rosy. Just open up your Instagram. Everyone's showing you all the wonderful side. And there is that side also. But there are also those bumps, those problems that appear. And those are part of the journey also. I recently heard an interview with Gary Vee. Anyone that knows Gary Vaynerchuk? He said, incredibly successful. He said that his success is 5%. He said the rest of it is 95% failure. He just kept at it. So for those of you that are thinking of going into business, want to start a business, or have failed business, and I have as well, keep going. Pick yourself up, know your why, know your reason for doing it, and know that there will be rough days. And knowing and accepting the rough days just helps them pass a little bit quicker. Keep yourself on your path and your journey. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dominica, for such a great speech. And yeah, on that note, if you are feeling imposter ever, think that you took your first step and you're making